guys. I'm going to talk about the secrets of Genesis, of the secrets of Bereshit. There are some things interesting. The first thing is that in the beginning God created heavens and the earth. In the beginning is the word Bereshit, which the Midrash says it means wisdom, as there's many verses that say Reshit Chochmah, the beginning is wisdom. And with it comes to say that with wisdom God created heavens and the earth. God created with the word, which means the Torah. It can be found, I think it was Proverbs chapter 8, that with the Torah God created heavens and the earth. Okay, another interpretation from Rashi is actually the word Reshit is in a construct form. So it's not in the beginning God created, but in the beginning of God creating heavens and the earth. It means that there are other beginnings that we don't know. We are not aware of other beginnings, but we are aware of this beginning, which is the beginning of heaven and the earth as we know it today. So heaven and the earth, it represents two states. It means the world of Asiya and the world of Yetzirah. So it's actually the first chapter in Genesis is the composing of, or a mixing of these two worlds being created, or the things that were created in these two worlds. For example, when it says that God created the flyers, it's two meanings. In the world of Asiya, it might mean the birds, but in the world of Yetzirah, it means angels, the flyers. They are called flyers as well, the angels. So there's a lot of things that are lost in the translation of the Bible, but it's very interesting to know these things. So he created the world in 7 days, which represent the 7 Sephirot, or the 7 steps of creation, as we know in Kabbalah. And the man, or the human being, was the culmination. He created them, a man and female, in the image of God, also representing the Sephirot. But then there are some commentators that say the chapter 2 is the specifics of chapter 1, how human being was created. But there are also commentators that say there are two separated events. So in chapter 1 we see how humans were created, but in chapter 2 we see how one specific man was created. Not all the humans, but one specific man called Adam. Adam was created in heaven, okay, and he was designed with a specific type of body that is androgynous, according to the Midrash. He was not a man, he was not a woman, but he was both at the same time, or no one, or he was androgynous. God created him in the image of God, both male and female, and then split him into two. It doesn't actually say, or doesn't mean to say that God took one rib from Adam. He didn't take one rib. Actually, he took one side of him. So he split Adam into two and made one side male and another side female. That's what I used to talk about this, where the importance of being married. But that's another topic. So according to some commentators, chapter 2 is another event. It's not the event that is mentioned in chapter 1 of Genesis. It says God created, in the beginning God created, or in the beginning of God creating. The Zohar goes hyperliterally and says in the beginning created God, because it's the order of words as they appear in Hebrew. In the beginning created God. The beginning created God. The word God, Elohim, literally means judge or ruler, which gives the impression of putting order in things. But in Gematria, Elohim has the same value with Teva, which means the nature. So it is the beginning created the nature, and the nature ordered heavens and the earth. And that's how everything goes there, or from there. And then in chapter 2, it's not used the word Elohim, but Hashem, when he deals with the man. So we see differences here, the different hints, and it's very interesting to notice them. Okay, So after that, you know the story. God created Adam in heaven, then placed him in a Garden of Eden, and told him to take care of Garden of Eden. And then Adam sinned, and God expelled him out from Garden of Eden. Where's the Garden of Eden? Because we don't see it. It's protected by flaming swords, but we don't see where is it. Because actually, they mentioned that Cain, when he sinned, he knew where the Garden of Eden was, but he could not enter. So where is it? Where's the Garden of Eden? According to some commentators, it's underground, because the cave of Machpelah, it says in one midrash, the cave of Machpelah, where the burial place of Abraham and Isaac and the patriarchs, the cave of Machpelah, it says to have access somehow to the Garden of Eden. Okay, some commentators say there's a metaphor. It represents a spiritual world. Garden of Eden is a spiritual world where a peaceful spiritual state. When people die, they come back to there. But some commentators literally say that the Garden of Eden is underground. So I leave two opinions there, and up to you to believe one or the other. I don't care. I like both, actually. So it's interesting, the position that is underground, because, like, you know, it says that it never rained there. Actually, it says, right? It says that before God created Adam, it never rained there. So it's obviously, if you're underground, how can it rain there? So it's interesting. But then it says when Cain sinned, he said, when Cain killed his brother, he said, "Oh, I don't want people, someone to find me and kill me," or something like that. Remember? So there were other beings, other people in the world, and according to one psalm, or the interpretation of one psalm, they were like 900 generations of Adam from chapter 1 before the Adam in chapter 2. That's very complicated, but it means there were many other generations of men before the Adam that is mentioned in chapter 2. So there were other beings around. And this is also said in the Torah itself, because it says in Genesis 4, okay, where is it? Oh, the Nephilim, the fallen ones, were on earth in those days. It means the days of Adam and the days of Cain and the days of Enosh. Actually, the Rashi comments here the days of Enosh. The fallen ones, the Nephilim means fallen ones, the people who fell, were on earth in those days, and also afterward. Afterward, it means after the flood, the great flood. The fallen ones were still there, and it says the sons of Elohim, or the sons of God, went to the human daughters and had children with them. When the sons of Elohim, it can be translated also the sons of the gods. And you know, the word B'nai Elohim appears in the Tanakh only 4 times. Once is here in Genesis, and the other 3 times is in the book of Job, and it always refers to angelic beings, beings from heaven, not from here. Okay? So they went to the human daughters and had children with them. They were Hagivorim, the mighty ones, Me'olam, from eternity, or from other world, or from the divine presence. And say Hashem, people of Hashem. Okay, so these people came to earth, and that's the story of the Anunnaki that can be found in the Mesopotamian stories. Anunnaki, it literally means Anu is heaven. So Anunnaki is the people who fell from heaven. So this story is found in many other cultures, not only in the Torah or in the oral tradition of the Jewish people. So in the time of Tubal Cain, it says the Midrash, 2 angels descended from their upper realms to the earth, and these are called Uzzah and Asael. Uzzah and Asael were the 2 leaders of these fallen angels. Uzzah and Asael in the book of Enoch is called Semjasa and Uziel. They are called Semjasa and Uziel. Semjasa basically means the name of Usa. So the two names are the same, Usa and Asael or Uziel. Why did they descend? Why did they descend? According to one interpretation or one midrash, because they desired Naama. Naama was Tubalcain's sister, who was very beautiful. The word Naama means pleasurable, so she was pleasurable. And by this woman, the world was filled with demons, it says, because Usa and Asael, they took her and have children with her. So they say when God created a man, he said, let him rule over the flyers. And as I told you, the flyers represent not only birds, but also angels. So when the people in heaven heard God say, let man rule over the flyers, it means over the angels. The angels they did not keep their first state, original state in heaven. They complain and they say to God, Master of the universe, what is man that you should take note of him? Man is like vanity. It comes from the Psalm 144. And God answered, just as all of you praise me above in heaven, so Adam will worship me or process my unity below on earth. And he warned them, if you were on earth like him, you will sin worse. It's written in the Zohar 1:25. If you were on earth, he says to the angels, you will sin worse, and they did actually. So there's a commentator that says, how can these spiritual beings have children with girls, with daughters? It doesn't make any sense. Actually, it means that they were physical. It's not like an angelical being of, I don't know, like a ghost. No, they were literally men who came from other place, from upper worlds, upper realms. So yeah, they created this. They literally were physical, and they literally had children with human daughters. So then it says, when God saw that these fallen angels were seducing the world because they were teaching all types of stuff, they had a lot of technology. They were teaching men how to live long, how they were teaching enchantments, sorceries, divination, a lot of stuff. So when God saw that these fallen angels were seducing the world, he bound them in chains of iron to a mountain of darkness. It's said in the Zohar 3:208. So this is all the story of them. Of course, they're also in the eve of Sabbath, before Shabbat, in the first day, in the chapter 1 of Genesis, God created the Shedim. The Shedim are demons, or what we call demons. It says in the Midrash that Shabbat came and they were not fully created. They didn't have a body, so they are like in another dimension hanging there, and they feed themselves with our energy. It's not that they are necessarily bad. Many of them are bad, actually, are evil, but some of them not. They worship Hashem, but they have a specific diet. They eat our energy, our spiritual energy, so that makes us enemies, natural enemies. So that's why they belong to the world of Asiya, of this world, the lower world, okay? So that's why it's not good to do a Kabbalah Masit, or the practical Kabbalah, like witchcraft and all of that stuff. It's not good because you are attaching yourself to demons, to these beings that feed themselves with your energy. So there's the story, you know the story, the Arabic story of Aladdin, right? Who had a jinn. Jinn is the Arabic word for demon. So Aladdin had a jinn and he granted him 3 wishes. Okay, this is a beautiful story, and that's what people do when they talk to demons and all of stuff. But they feed from you, so they demand something from you. They want something from you, and that's why there's the stories because they don't have bodies. Some of them want to live in a body, so they they are divukim. They attach themselves to the body of people, and there's the story of possessions and possessed people. So there are a lot of beings being mentioned in the book of Genesis, and it's very interesting to notice them all. Of course, I can keep going, but I think I'm going to stop here, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.